And it always gets very quiet after that reminder.
See that, everybody wants to be quiet. Are you going to the League of Women Voters, Jerry?
I did receive an email invitation, yes, to participate in their candidate forum.
Yeah, I didn't get one. I finally got a phone call yesterday, so. Anyways, we'll be there.
Okay,
Might have to do it in combine clothes, but hey, you never know. Maybe it'll stop raining by then.
All the challenges of farming and agriculture, huh?
It's interesting.
It is.
I go, all right, surprisingly, the beans are dry right now. We got green pods and it's early, but the beans, some of them are down to 10 and a half to 11. So
Wow, that's good.
yeah, this rain will maybe actually put a little bit of moisture back in them. So that's almost too dry. So
well, we're gonna have to stop talking about ag and get right on to our meeting. It's 9 o'clock. So I'll call the Justice and County Affairs Committee to order. Our first order of business is call to the public. Do we have anybody online?
There is no public at this time, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Then we'll move on to our first business item, which is consider approving the fiscal year 2021 Community Corrections Grant Application and Plan in the amount of $73,396. And we have Carrie here. You want to speak to that, Carrie?
Absolutely. Good morning. First of all, I want to apologize because the Life Plans program is the draft portion, not the corrected portion. So there are many typos in there from when Mr. Kalika prepared that originally. So I have submitted the corrected one to Jessica for the packet that will go to the board hopefully on Tuesday. So this year, as everyone knows and continue to talk about, has been very different from any other year I think most of us have ever experienced. But we are asking for some of the same funding for 2021 and some different funding. The continuation funding will be the men and women's groups that start in the jail and then continue into the community. That is the same program we've used for a lot of years and have seen some success with that. In 2020, we started with a new vendor, which saved a significant amount of money for the grant. And we intend to continue with that vendor, which is Ronan Psychological, in the next year, should we receive approved funding. The Life Skills program was cut last year at the state level. They just didn't fund it for anyone. We intend to reapply this year, but I've heard some things that too is going to be cut for another year. Something that's obviously out of our control if they don't fund it at all. The major change is that we have discontinued the pretrial services program, which was providing electronic monitors and drug testing to pretrial felons who met the eligibility criteria based on a COMPAS assessment, which is a substance abuse and criminology assessment. The state changed the way that they will fund that, and the risk level has increased dramatically. And in this county, our judges just aren't giving people personal recognizance bond or low cash bonds for that high of a risk. From what Joe told me before he retired, it almost doubled. So you would have had to have been like a 3, which is a medium risk, and now you'd have to be a high risk in order for the program to pay for those pretrial services. And it's just not practical. We would have almost no one eligible in our county. So we cut that program, and in exchange for that, what we did was took advantage of the new drunk driving jail reduction funding that they opened, added an OUIL third offender pretrial electronic monitoring program, which will allow OUIL 3 offenders to be on electronic monitors at the pretrial level. So it will just add, you know, an extra level of safety to the community for those people who tend to have issues with drinking and then driving. So we did that. In February, the board graciously approved us to move drunk driving fund monies that we had away from the housing, which we were unable to use, and into an interlock for drug court participants. An interlock is a device that they statutorily have to have before they can get their license back if they're in the drug court. As we all know, there's lots of financial things that are typically going on with people who are in the drug court, so they are often unable to pay for the interlock themselves. So we have had very few people who have been able to get their license back when they're in the drug court program. So this funding will allow us to work with those participants and help them be successful in getting their license back. So those are the major differences in what we're asking for. I understand that we don't know what the state's going to do. So we just ask that the board authorize the application and that, you know, we hope for the best.
Carrying that, we've eliminated the pretrial services. Do you anticipate that that's going to increase the incarceration and occupation of the county jail?
I really don't think so, because these are the same people that would have stayed incarcerated anyway. What the state said is that, you know, we're going to increase the risk level so that if these people are allowed pretrial release, then you can put a monitor on them. But in this county, they either have a, you know, a relatively substantial bond. They're getting cash bonds. They're not going to be getting personal recognizance bonds based on the safety risks that they present to the community, along with their risk of reoffending and the risk of non-appearance. Those are the three major things that have to be considered when determining whether someone should get a personal recognizance bond or a very low cash bond. And
Okay, thank you.
level, when it's that high, they're just not going to get it.
Okay. Frank, did you have a question?
Yeah, just one question. Maybe I didn't hear it, but I know we got awarded 57,000. What did we request last year? Do you remember?
It was, I don't have it right in front of me, but it was more than we received. So I believe it was around $69,000 last year, and they gave
Okay.
the 57.
56. Okay.
Any administration comments or questions?
No, Carrie
Okay.
did her usual fabulous job explaining it so well.
And we'll see you at the work session then. To do
All
it.
right, thank you so much.
I'll move this forward to the work session.
I'll support that.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
It moves forward. All right, thank you, Carrie. My comment before we went live that we didn't get one of the documents in our initial package deals with the management performance grant. We had one, but not the other. So anyhow, Mark will be here. We're kind of familiar with that. It's always a kind of confusing thing because we get two different documents that deal. But the first item is consider approving the fiscal year 2020 emergency management performance grant in the amount of $12,043 and authorize the board chair to sign the same.
Mr. Chairman, this is our emergency management performance grant agreement. This comes after the work agreement. This tells us how much money we'll be able to receive in grant funds because of the work agreement's accomplishments. So we're getting $12,000 or $12,043. It's a slight difference from last year. I think last year was $12,131. And it's an annual grant that we have taken for many, many, many years before I was even employed here. And it's still in the 34% range of the fringe and salary benefits that are dedicated towards emergency management. This is the end of the process.
Okay. Frank, did you have any comments or questions?
Nope, we've seen it a couple times now.
Many times, eh? And
Yes.
our emergency management program is excellent and it's seen us through problem areas in the past. So you want to make the motion to move it forward?
I will move this forward to the work session.
I will second that. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
It moves forward. Well, here's the first part now. Consider the fiscal year 2021 emergency management performance grant work agreement and authorize the board chair to sign the same. You're back on board, Mark.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. Yes, this is the first step in what will come hopefully a year from now, a very similar grant agreement. As you saw, the previous was 34%. I anticipate this will be 30 to 36% of the fringe and salaries. And again, this agreement details all the things that I will do for the next year to be able to get us a grant reimbursement at the end of the year.
Okay. Anything, Frank?
Nope, I don't have any questions on that one, so I'll move that forward.
I will second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
It moves forward. Thank you.
Thank
That
you, sir.
brings us back to call the public.
There is no public present at this time, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Well, thank you, Mark, for your service, and you do an excellent job in your position. You've been stressed a couple of times, so.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Margaret, do you have anything from administration?
No, as I told the committee before you, I walked in this morning at about 7:45, so I've spent a lot of time the last 3 weeks catching up, both with Nicole. I've met with all the department heads by Zoom. I've had numerous discussions with the courts, so I feel like I'm caught up on a number of things, but I don't really have anything to add today. Mark, nice job. You had a light agenda today, Mark. They were easy sells, so good job. Nice job. But no, I think that, we're all moving ahead and doing the best. Everybody's doing the best they can under the circumstances. And I'm very proud of our team all the way around.
Well, we're happy to see you back, Margaret, and
Thank you.
Nicole did a nice job standing in for you.
I have no doubt she did. I knew she would. I'm sure she did great. By all appearances, she knocked it out of the park. So there you go. Just what I expected she would do.
All right, with that, we will adjourn this meeting.
Thank you.
Sure one.